compare this to like my last leader bike, which was my CBR 1000. My CBR 1000 was a great bike, but the suspension wasn't as good as this is.
What up, everyone? It's your girl Supo, and you are watching Your Fast Life.
Your Fast Life motorcycle channel. This is the 2016 Ninja ZX10R New Rider feedback live stream right here on Your Fast Life 2. What up? So we're talking about the Ninja ZX10R 2016. One of my subscribers is actually on the line with us right now.
And to get to things like your clock, you hit select. If you want to go to your lap, if you want to do a quick lap.
For someone who doesn't have experience with the current ZX10 models, is there a big difference between the dash setup and the computer setup there versus the older bike?
The dash is basically the same as the 2011 all the way up through 2015. It's just when you look at the far right-hand side of your dash, and that's when you see all new Kawasaki electronic package, which would be the engine braking, the quick shift, the KIBs, your traction control, and your power modes. And like I said in that video, you hold your select button and it'll drop over to that second screen, and you can go in and adjust anything you want. You can take the traction control off. You can put it at the highest setting. You can go from low, medium, and high power mode. You can go with the engine braking on or off. You can have the quick shifter on or off. You can set up to have your launch control work or not be enabled. You can engage it or disengage it, I should say. And other than that, this dash looks exactly like the 2015 dash.
So
extra features.
So you told me that you sorry about that. Let me make sure the audio is good. Okay. So you told me that you changed from a ZX10R what year?
So I had a 2012 ZX14 and traded it in for this ZX10.
And why did you do that? What was the motivation behind that?
Like right now, I'm sitting in this garage and I got 3 motorcycles here. I have this ZX10. I have behind me, I have a 08 ZX14, and then beside me, I have a Victory Cross Country. And the main reason I had the 14 was for long distance traveling. Then when I brought the new one because I wanted to see what the difference was between the 08 and the new 2012 that they were hyping up. And it was a significant increase in power. And then once I brought my Victory, I decided I didn't need to keep my 14s anymore because I had a bike that I could tool around town and do errands with. So I just wanted a pure like race bike. And I used to have an 08 CBR 1000 and I loved it. And then I sold that. So I wanted to get back into the 1000 market.
So you, first of all, how many miles have you put on this bike so far?
Right now, this bike has 73 miles on it.
73 miles on it. So it's not a tremendous amount of miles. It's brand new, obviously. You got this, was it 31st or 30th?
I got this on December 26th, day after Christmas.
Oh, day after Christmas. I'm sorry, December 26th. So this is brand new. This is your new bike right now.
This is the newest baby in the stable, yeah.
So the interesting thing that what I was trying to get at is comfort level. Now, obviously, the ZX14R is more designed to be a more comfortable bike. That's a top speed bike. It's a bike that you could go hundreds and hundreds of miles and feel totally comfortable, but also be a beast as well. But now when you're talking about the ZX14R, this is obviously more of a track-focused bike. So what's your experience with, in terms of, I know it's still very new, not many miles, but still, so far, what's your impression on comfort level cruising on the ZX10R versus your 14R from before?
Yeah, my 14R was, you know, I was more upright. I had a little bit more leg room. But as far as the 10, like I took it out the other day and I rode for about 50 miles or so, and for about an hour, and I had no problems. I mean, it felt comfortable. It was almost like I didn't have the bike up under me. It's kind of weird to sort of describe it, but for me, it's comfortable. And I mean, I put my toes up, I'm in a position like I'm on a track. So to go out and ride like 50 miles for maybe about a half, and it was sort of cold, it didn't bother me.
So far you're comfortable with the bike. I wanted to say shout out to Jamrock Motovlog, who just joined in the chat room, and Ian Jacob is still with us. So that's an awesome feedback between the ZX10R and the ZX10R. So let's go back to the very beginning. So you picked up this bike, you rode it home from the dealer. Is that how the journey kind of started for you?
Nah, so what happened was I picked it up from the dealer and I trailered it back because the weather was sketchy here and between Pennsylvania and Delaware. And then the next day when it was warmer out, I took it out and went for about 20 or so miles. And then the next day I actually went out and put like some heavy miles on it.
So what I wanted to find out is, what was your impression first time riding the bike? It's your very first time riding on the 2016 ZX10R.
I guess I don't really get super hyped when I buy a new bike, because I try to put a lot of research into it. Like when you saw me at the bike show,
Bike show.
that was like my initial like, oh wow, this is the bike I'm really gonna have. And then after that, it was like, once I got it, it was more like, okay, let's get down to business. I gotta break it in. How does it feel?
You're watching YourFastLife. I like the personality you put into the videos, so it's really good, man. We post like 20 videos. He has like a ton of.
First impression, sitting on the first time.
Wow, you can feel the bike, from left to right is a lot lighter. It feels a lot easier to flick left and right just sitting on the bike. I have a 2011 ZX10, and just sitting on the bike, switching it from left to right, it's a lot easier.
And it felt good. I mean, the tires were new, and I had to make sure I wasn't trying to really push the limits and everything. But the weather here isn't as great as it could be like in the summer. So basically I had to take my time. So I had to put it down into the most intrusive traction control, and I took it out of full power mode and dropped it down to low. And I was just tooling around, seeing how it handled as far as cornering, being able to switch back and forth, flickability. And the flickability of this bike is like, I can't even, it's almost like when I used to have my 600. It flicks a little bit faster than my 600s did.
What? Wow.
It flicks faster than my 600s did, and it has the power. Even in low mode, now that I'm breaking it with the weather conditions around here, I can have it in 6th gear, play around, and just roll on the throttle. And it just instantly takes off. Wow. I mean, so I'm waiting to get it to where I can put it in full power and take the traction control like completely off, or have it to the less intrusive setting there is, so I can actually really play with this thing. But the way it's set up right now, I mean, this bike flicks back and forth like a hot knife through butter. To me, it's comfortable. I know it has gobs of power on tap. The next thing will probably be, I would probably take it to the dyno. I know when I got my title for it, the SAE number that everybody usually uses, it says it's making 185 horsepower, and the other dyno number was 188. So I was talking to my dyno guy today, and he was like, yeah, it'll probably get 185. So I'm excited to see if that'll really happen. I won't really dyno it now because here on the East Coast it's cold. So of course your numbers will always be high in the winter time. So I'd rather do it in mid-summer, maybe like June, July, when it's sort of hot and humid, and you don't get all that nice cold ram air in there to actually see what it will do when you're really using this bike, which is in the summertime.
Well, here's one thing that we definitely wanna clear up. And for those of you guys just joining in, we're right now talking to SpeedyCRZ. That's his YouTube channel, and he's one of my subscribers. And he's talking about his brand new 2016 ZX10R. So one of the big things that we were told about the ZX10R to expect for 2016 is you got that fancy pants suspension, which you know, it's got a little bling to it. You know, it's unusual. We haven't seen it before. It's red, so it contrasts with the bike. And
psst, hey man, did you see that new sexy suspension on the new 2016 ZX10R from Kawasaki? BFF. What does that stand for anyway? What is BFF? Balance Free Forks.
It certainly looks cool, but then when we got into the technical factors in terms of what it's supposed to deliver, you know, I found it very interesting what they were talking about. First of all, they said the focus of that bike, the 2016 ZX10R, is to be the ultimate track weapon. That was their focus, was all about lap times. So the design of that bike, you know, if we don't need this for better lap times, let's get rid of it. Like, only focus on things that will give us better lap times. Now, getting back specifically to the suspension definitely was designed, or that was the idea behind it, to deliver on that promise of the ultimate track weapon. But what was interesting to me is that they said that it also would benefit you on a normal street riding condition, in terms of supposedly the ride should be or could be actually more comfortable versus the older ZX10Rs. So I found that to be very interesting. So now you're talking about real world benefits. I mean, yes, you got track day guys, but a lot of guys are not going to the track. So do we really care about this super advanced suspension that we can't really utilize on the street? What kinds of kind of race oriented bikes have you ridden on before? And then based on that, just let us know what you feel how you feel about this one in terms of comfort.
Okay, I started riding on a CBR 600 F2. Then I went up to GSXR 750. I had a 2008 CBR 1000. I had two ZX14s, and now I have this. I'm gonna compare it to the last two Calis I had, which would have been my 08 and 2012 ZX14. The 08, I'm not gonna lie, I always thought the suspension on that one sort of sucked because it was really spongy and soft. That was the main reason I liked my 2012, because the suspension had firmed up more, but it was still a little dicey. I noticed with this bike, it does absorb the bumps very well. I mean, it was like I was out on the road and I hit this like pothole or something. Then I had to look like, wow, did I just really run over that? Because you don't really feel it. It absorbs the bumps that well. So, and even if I compare this to like my last leader bike, which was my CBR 1000, my CBR 1000 was a great bike, but the suspension wasn't as good as this is.
You feel legitimately that that suspension is more comfortable in terms of when you think about a race bike? People generally, they think about really stiff suspension, super aggressive, not exactly the kind of thing. Actually, Ducati, that's what they think about. Ducati, I've heard that those bikes are not very street friendly, so they think about uncomfortable. But you're saying that it's absolutely not the case here. In fact, it sounds like you're saying this bike might actually be one of the more comfortable street bikes in terms of how it goes over bumps.
Right. As far as because the way this new front fork is designed, all your fluid is supposed to be in the after cartridge. So generally speaking, the only action that the fork is.
You are watching Your Fast Life motorcycle channel, the most awesome motorcycle channel in the universe. And I also have a car channel, Your Fast Life car channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram at carlylespicks. And I'm out. Yeah.
What up, everyone? It's your girl Supo, and you are watching Your Fast Life. My life is fast. Your life is fast. We need to be watching this channel together. Get to it. Comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Peace.